Hi again. So in this movie we'll be creating a simple front end using the Microsoft Power Apps and then connect it to the Peltarion platform to the model you built in the previous movie, and we'll do this by using the Peltarion connector, and this is super simple, so just join in and you will have your first AI powered Power Apps in just a couple of minutes. Hi everybody and welcome back. This time we'll create a simple front end using Microsoft Power Apps and then connect it to the model you built in the earlier movies. This way we can actually create a front end with a text box and a button, and when you enter the text in the text box you can send that text to the Peltarion model and then get a result that says what product is this consumer complaint about. Three things to have in handy before you start off. Of course, your Microsoft Power Apps account. Just make sure you sign in and get one before doing this. You need the deployment info from the model you built earlier, and also it's quite handy to have the docs.microsoft.com on the Peltarion connector, because we will use these 3 lines of code here. So let's start. Go to apps, select new app. We use the Canvas app, just a blank app for this. Go with the phone layout since we don't need to do anything big. While we're waiting for this to set up, and how we're going to use this is we're going to connect the Power Apps environment with the Peltarion platform using the Peltarion connector. To do this, first let's find a text input, get it as a nice size, remove that text, text because it's always in the way, use a hint text instead. And here, alright, the text box is there. Now for something to happen, we need to connect the Peltarion connector. Go to the left, find your date settings, search for Peltarion, and since this is the first time we connect this, we get prompted for the URL and the token, and we'll find the URL in the deployment page. Just copy that, paste it, the token, the same way, copy that, paste it, connect some licensing information, just I got it. Alright, that's fast. Now we connected this app to the Peltarion platform using the Peltarion connector, but we still don't know how to use it. So to use that, let's create a button. That's just, works. What's it's about. On that button, we have room for entering some script here. And we need to put in 3 lines of code here. And those 3 lines we find very handy in the Microsoft documentation. Copy that. Paste that. To make this work, we need to replace this one that says your input param with the name from the input parameter that you'll find on the deployment page. So this one, consumer complaint narrative, just copy that and replace that one. And don't forget these ones, otherwise it will not accept it. So what does these 3 lines of code do? Clear collect basically means that we will create a collection called DD, and a collection is somewhere to store information. Clear collect means that before you store anything new, just clear whatever is in there. We'll collect the information from text input 1.text, which is the text area here. Then we'll create a JData variable, and we'll format this using JSON format. Why do we do that? Because we need to create a JSON object to send to the Peltarion connector. And the reason for actually using JSON format .include binary data is because then we can use the exact 3 lines of code, both for text and the image. So remember, change this one, just keep this one, keep third one, third line is basically the magic Peltarion connector call that calls the connector Peltarion.call API with the JData, the JSON object that we created in the second line, and then stores the result in the variable we called res. Right, fine. We can now call the Peltarion API, but we have nowhere to show the output. Let's add a text label. Oh, sorry, maybe that was a bit quick. Text label you will find to the left here. Here you go. And if you remember, we stored everything in the variable res as a result, and just use res dot, and then we find three options here. Let's use the key, which will basically be the name of the product. Then we can have another one, res dot val, which is the prediction score. And you know, might as well, since this being your first time, might as well find somewhere to find an, you know, potential error message, but I hope not. So we've done this far. Remember, save. It's quite easy to forget this because the app actually works even though it's not saved. Continue complaint. Saving that to the cloud. Perfect. Now let's try this out. Money. That's the reasonable complaint. Oh, what's this about? It's apparently about money transfer, but that's a poor prediction score. And as I mentioned in the early movies, we can do a lot in tweaking the performance of the model. Let's ask something else. I like my credit card. Why does it come month? That's reasonable to ask. Yeah, that's credit card, prepaid card. We get a bit better prediction score, but of course we can move on and sort of tweak and perform the model. So, alright, well, it works. Now, just a quick recap. What did we do? We created the text box. We connected the Peltarion connector. We use a button, and that button we input the 3 lines of code, which we actually get from the documentation. We have 3 text labels for the key, the value, and fortunately no error message. And there you go. Mission completed. Thank you. Hey, great job. I assume you just completed your first AI-powered Power Apps. I hope you found these videos useful, and that maybe I've inspired you to create more Power Apps using the Peltarion Platform and Microsoft Power Apps. And also feel free to add stuff to this. My recommendation would be maybe the IMDb movie tutorial that we have, because you can use that sentiment classifier and apply it to this customer complaint app. So you have both the product classifier and also the sentiment classifier, and you can make different queues for your customer complaint system. And don't forget to click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in your feed, or check out one of these videos.